Hey guys, Tina here, Critical Virgo. Welcome back to another Fragrance Fridays. If you're new here, then welcome. Just so you know, I do put timestamps to everything down below, so if you want to fast forward to something, that's what they're there for. I've been MIA for a few weeks now. Some of you know this, some of you just had no idea, but whatever, I'm back. I went to New York to spend some time with my family. Went up there for a few weeks because of just everything going on. They haven't been able to come down and visit me. And obviously I haven't gone up there except for recently. So I decided to maximize my time. I took a break from all this because I just needed time to regroup. I think it's healthy. I started a new position at my company not too long ago and it's been quite stressful. So I just needed some me time, which is, I got plenty of it there because everything was shut down. So we didn't do much of anything. But that's okay. The most important thing was that we spent time together. I took 3 fragrances with me and I'm really most excited to talk about Hamsah from Swiss Arabian. In my last video, there was some, discussion about this in the cooler weather, and I had mentioned that I was going to New York and that I would take it with me. And there was a request for a follow-up video, so here it goes. I did take some rollerballs with me too, which I'm honestly not too excited to talk about because I did not put a lot of wear time on them. I gave most of my time to Hamsah. So I'm just going to start with what I'm most excited to talk about with you today. So this, honestly, the smell did not change at all. I wasn't really expecting that. I was more curious to see how this would project and longevity wise. I still got the same type of experience as far as the white florals, how it wore, the honey, totally the same. It does still remind me of Elie Saab's Le Parfum, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but it's becoming one of my favorites in my whole collection. Now, in New York, for me, it was cold. I know for some people it was like, oh, 30, 40 degrees, whatever. But if you're coming from 80 degrees and you've been living in like 80 to 100 degrees for the last 14 years to go to that much of a change so fast, it's cold. Now, I wasn't walking around with like scarves and all this crazy stuff. I did have like some hoodies and whatever. I did spray this one quite liberally over there. And I can tell you that this is an awesome scent in the wintertime. I had no doubts about that. I did make mention in my last video that this would be a good winter scent. Now, my personal preference is this in the warmer weather just because I like it when your skin warms up and it projects a lot. I didn't get a lot of that over there. What I did get over there was this lasting in my clothes. So I had, some sweatshirts, some hoodies, and it was just really nice to like throw your hoodie up and you get a waft of fragrance, or like if you're walking, you just go, that was really nice too. But as far as projection goes, it was kind of failing in the cooler weather, whereas in the warmer weather, obviously it was more noticeable. Still love everything about this. I'm not a huge white floral fan, but I like it in this. And combined with like that honey, it's like a thicker, it's not cloying, but it's a thicker sweetness than you get with Elie Saab. Totally digging that. So if you were curious, I think it is a good winter fragrance. Just personally, I think my tastes have changed because I've been living in the warm for so long. I prefer the warm weather, how this wears in warm weather. Now I'm gonna get into the rollerballs. I'm not crazy excited about talking about these, honestly. I gave most of my time to Hamsah. That's what I was most excited about and just gravitated to more up there. I like to travel with rollerballs though. They're just convenient. And I know some people are like, oh, but the performance is always bad. I'm gonna call BS on that because I have a few other ones that perform really well. And just so you know, I do like apply quite liberally. There's like puddles, like I'm dabbing them on and puddles are coming down. I put them on my clothes too. So I think it all comes down to the fragrance. Anyway, the first one I'm going to go into is Ralph Lauren Midnight Romance. You could tell, like just in general, I have not used a lot of this. It is a really nice fragrance, don't get me wrong. It's really fruity, floral. It's very sweet, feminine. It's playful. I like it. Just for colder weather though, I think this was a bad choice for me to bring up with me. I wore it, I think, once for bed. I wouldn't wear this outside. When I put it on at night, one night I realized like this was probably the wrong choice to bring up there. I think this is like perfect for spring, summer nights, and warmer weather. Definitely not that cold because it got lost. Even in the house, it just kind of got lost. But I've worn it a few times here in Florida and I've had much more promising, better experiences. So I think I'm just going to reserve that for down here. The next one up is Burberry Brit for her. Looks like this. It was not full when I went down there, but I did use this one a few times. And now that I've got this up in the light and I'm looking through it, you're not going to be able to see it in the camera, but it's kind of gross actually. I don't know if you guys have ever really looked at your rollerballs through light. Yeah. If anything, I think that's a reason not to own rollerballs. Or at least if you're going to buy them and use them, don't keep them around for too long. Use them, get rid of them. Anyway, I digress. I was curious about this. I didn't really have high hopes. It's a very woody fragrance, kind of in the middle as far as gender goes. I could see some guys wanting to wear this, even though it says for her. It's sweet, but not cloying. In New York, I wore this twice, maybe 3 times, I think twice. And it performed as I expected. I have mixed performance down here in Florida. Some days, for whatever reason, maybe it's hydration levels, it performs well. Never amazing, but always just well. In New York, it was more of the same. It didn't even really stay on my clothes for that long, and I do, a dab and I roll along my clothes, which is probably some of the stuff that I see floating in here. I hope it's that, not just skin. But it's just okay. Not my favorite fragrance. I know some people in the last video that I posted on this mentioned that I should just buy the spray, and I've seen it in like TJ Maxx a few times. I just don't really have a crazy interest in it. I think when I'm done with this rollerball, that'll be the end of it. Like, I have no interest in committing myself to a bottle, and I'm really kind of at a point right now where I'm using things up. I'm trying to use my fragrances up. I haven't really been buying. And yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of conflicted. That's one of the things I was thinking about when I was in New York, which kind of leads me to my next thing. I'm still going to be doing Fragrance Fridays. Probably once or twice a month, which is kind of what I've been averaging before. I honestly never started this channel with the intention of committing myself to fragrances, and I feel conflicted because that was never, like I said, my intention. I just kind of fell into it. It's always been something that I like doing. I think I'm going to kind of focus on the things that I really wanted to focus on more when I first started my channel and my website, which is just general product and service reviews. There will still be some fragrance, but it's not going to be the main thing that you see. I want to put more energy into the other stuff. So, if you're about that stuff, then stick around. But if that's not your jam, I get it. It is what it is. But yeah, those just the things that I've been thinking about lately. Like I said, I'll still be doing Fragrance Fridays, probably at the same rate that I've been doing them before, but there will be other types of content on here just because that's what I really wanted to do originally, was other stuff, not really even fragrance. Fragrance is always just something I enjoyed, but someone talked me into it. Centrifugal force talked me into it, so I've just kind of been doing that. But anyway, I know I kind of went off on things a little bit, but that's what's been going on. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Till next Friday. It won't be a recap, won't be a follow-up on anything. Not quite sure which fragrance I'll be talking about, but I have a lot of samples to go through, so stay tuned for that. Bye guys.